We built this bench of old Welsh oak, solid and strong with love and hope, for the legends and people they say, for all the lovers of Langland. In the whispers of the tides we hear their names, echoes of laughter and heartwarming games. So sit and smile at times gone by, graced by the presence of wisdom and pride. With every memory that we share, we honor the legends who lived with care. They made their mark in many deeds, from cleaning the beach to planting seeds, saving lives and saving souls. Poets and beach boys with hearts of gold. Each grain of sand tells a story true of sunlit days and the ocean's hue. So sit and smile and time go by, graced by the presence of wisdom and pride. With every memory that we share, we honor the legends who lived with care.
Funnel fleet, the Bristol Channel, paddleboat ferries and all that. Did you know they were used in Dunkirk?
I think I did.
And they lost 3 in action, and the other, no, it was 7 or 5, and the others just weren't in any state to be used afterwards.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So I think that, now you said, I got a feeling Cunard as well were involved, yeah. And somebody else didn't. They pulled, I don't think it was P&O, but I think it was before P&O pulled out. Oh, what's happening?
Oh, what's that? Is that me or you?
Robert. Oh, I think Kipper pushed the wrong button.
Huh? Okay.
I think that was from Kipper. Sure, I've seen his name come pop up. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, where did I go once and they did an exhibition? I think, and people brought their boats that were in Dunkirk, and they were like collectors and everything.
Wow.
They did them all up, and they were really fantastic. You know, like old wooden sort of boats, all varnished. You know, really neat. I can't remember where that was now. But I remember chatting to the guy. Well, I think it was I was on the Thames somewhere. They just sort of, they were doing something for whatever it was, something going on in London, and they'd all come up, sort of thing. So they both for the day.
All right. Yeah, when you think about it, right, took a lot of balls, didn't it? You know, that war and stuff. Jesus, man. I really wish, because my grandfather was in the Desert Rats, and he never really, you know, in El Alamein and all, and Tobruk and all that kind of stuff, you know. And I really wish I'd asked him more about it now, you know, for what he was doing. He might be just been a cook, I don't know. But yeah.
Well, my uncle Bill was that, or William, yeah, and he was in the Marines.
Yeah.
Before they came the SAS, and but I asked him lots of times, he wouldn't tell me anything.
All right. Yeah, because
I asked him if he killed any Germans, as he would. And he never answered. But later on, I asked my father, and he said, yeah, he was quite active in the war. He was parachuted to Germany about 6 times apparently.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
So he must have been some sort of on the commando type of things. But he never told me. And when I went up to London and I went to look at the records, I couldn't find his name there.
Ooh, he was probably died of spite then.
No, he was. They kept them X. There's a special list of X
All right.
people
Okay.
that weren't on the normal sort of thing. So I don't know what he did. Like, I think you met him a few times, but he went to work in the British embassies after that. First in France, then he went to South Africa, and he spent most of his time in South Africa, Rhodesia, as it was then.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know what he did. You know, he never really said. I mean, I know I had his helmet and a few other bits, but they've long gone now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that helmet. It was in the sort of shed, sort of just languishing there. We played with it when I was young, but then after that, it didn't. You know, just left it somewhere. Probably got thrown out with the rubbish.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah, right. Bloody, oh God, disgusting stuff. I had a load of stuff off my grandfather as well. I had these desert rat patches, you know.
All right, yeah.
I used to have 'em- I had them sewed on one of my denim jackets or something like that. I don't know, anyway. So I was quite proud. And because he gave it to me and he said, this is a desert rat, the real one, you know. And he explained what it did on grow. I felt awful proud, like, wearing it.
About 600 quid each now.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I had two of them as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people did, though, didn't they? You know, wore things like that.
It's like me giving Morgan my one of my British team blazers or something like that, you know. Not blazers, the jackets, you know. Take care of this, it's an archive.
I was going to say, I don't remember any. I remember somebody had blazers, but I don't think I seen you in a blazer.
No, it wasn't blazer. They didn't know. They didn't think it was blazer. We had jackets. Like I remember one time they insulted us by giving us all the jackets. I'm sorry, you know.
Somebody did because they were wearing ties as well.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, yeah. I seen it. They went to California for the '66 World Titles, and they had blazers for that one for their official shots.
Maybe that was, but I don't know if it was Wales or whether it was sort of.
That was great. That was Great Britain, but PJ was in that team in '66.
Oh, maybe that's why I seen it then.
Yeah. And Tony Rowe was in it, and Graham Nile, what's his name, Charlie Williams, Chris Jones, and David Grimshaw.
Yeah. But it was a thing they did then, didn't they?
Yeah, but there's also one for the Welsh team when they went to the palace to see the Queen for something or other.
Yeah.
Well, they might have been in suits, not blazers, I think.
I was talking to, who was I talking to now? It may have been Terry Medwin's wife, Joyce. I can't remember now. We were talking about blazers for the teams and things, and caps and shirts. He gave a lot of his shirts to I think it was Mumbles Rangers, but whoever it was, because they were doing some sort of match, and he gave them the shirts or something to wear there, to sort of, you know, just because it was a reunion type of match. And I think he only got two back.
Oh, poor guy.
I seem to remember there was an appeal, but I was saying to her about the jackets and things, and she was saying in the World Cup, when they went to the World Cup, they played down at a photo, and she showed me the photo. I'm sure it was Joyce, and like half the team had jackets on, half the team didn't. But all the background group, you know, the managers, directors, and all the things that they all had blazers and ties on.
Yeah.
The players didn't, because they couldn't really afford them, so they didn't buy them until they were made sure they were going. So, all the sort of the old guys that was.
But they had to buy them themselves.
No, they didn't buy. They were given the jackets because they were there for the opening ceremony, but they didn't all have them. And when they came, the team had a bus, yeah. And again, I seen a picture of this. The bus came, and it was like I think it was a 16-seater. And I thought, that's a small bus. but then behind the buses were like three limousines, and that's where all the sort of the directors and everything came in the limousine, and the players on the bus. But what happened that Wales unexpectedly won and went through into the quarterfinals, but all the board had to go home because they had their flights. They had to catch their flights. They didn't expect Wales progress. They all went back. Then they went to Heathrow. Then they came back to Swansea or Cardiff. And then the next day, they packed their bag again and go back and get the flight to go back and for the next game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But, it was very sort of random. And when they came back, Terry, who else? There was three of them. I wasn't down there. So I don't know. Three of them back from the station.
The surface of the sea.
Who's this?
Is this me or you?
Did I accept? Robert John. Let's see who it is.
Is it me or you? It's you.
I haven't touched him. No, I got an answer. Hello?
Oh, what that is.
Who is it? Is this you, Sam, or Kipper?
It was me. No, made a mistake and I stopped it. Seen it. And it must be. I fired it up again.
We're still ringing now.
It must be someone else.
Ah, Sam. It's Sam's calling.
It's Sam.
Is it? No,
Hang on.
He's not on the right thing.
Sam, what's up? Oh, we're all on. Hang on. We all have to get off this.
I'll go off it, yeah.
Everybody have to get off it because it's just feeding back. All right. Okay. Bye, boys.
Bye.
God,
See you later.
yeah. Press the wrong button.
Who's that? Sam?
I don't know. It was Sam was on there, but he wasn't on there. But I don't know. So maybe he can't get on. Hang on a second. I'll just get in touch with him in a minute or two. Just a second. Bear with me. Okay, Sam's in. All right, we got you. Okay, we got Sam coming in, I think. Maybe? Yeah, there we are.
But anyway, him and Terry Maker and Cliff Jones come back to the station. They bumped into somebody. And they said, "Oh, where you been?" They said, "Oh, we've been playing the World Cup." Oh, nice one. And that was it.
Yeah.
Nobody even knew.
Yeah, right. Was that you on FaceTime, Sam? I don't know. I think you went on FaceTime.
All that happened with me was I went to log back in, and there was this little pop-up there with your pictures gone and Kipper's. And it said, "You missed a call from these two."
Kipper pressed the wrong
I
button.
just pressed the button.
Kipper pressed the wrong button.
No, I just pressed the one it told me to press. And
No, I
then
know. But Kipper had pressed the wrong button and he'd started a FaceTime call.
All right, okay.
So
I've never done that before on my laptop. I thought, what's happening here? Right, okay.
Oh, you live and learn, Sam. You're learning every day, getting more tech savvy.
Information overload.
It's when you get that funny ring then, isn't it? Mine goes beep, beep, beep.
Mine was a little burp. On the subject of you got the bench in the background there. So even when I said the other day, and of course, Biscuit said, well, he was away. And I thought, who's got the oil?
I've done it, though. I went down today.
All right. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's Oh yeah, because I was going to say, well, we've had all this dry weather. Slap some stuff on it, cracks and all, doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
look,
I stuck some on there. I retouched up all the
black
doodah.
bits. What do
Yeah.
you do with the black bits?
Yeah.
What do you do? Just black paint or?
No, I actually used a permanent marker.
All right.
I thought, well, permanent.
You're so artistic, Mike.
We'll see.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you
Yeah.
know the kind of yellowy bit behind the surfer. What do you use there? Permanent yellow marker?
What
Or is
this?
that just the wood?
No, it's just the woods. I just I made it look more. What's the word for it? Give him more of a
Contrasty.
surfboard.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just show you.
Oh yeah, that looks really good. I didn't know you were going down. I'd have. When you
So-
got this today, did you?
Yeah, so I just sort of touched him up and gave him a surfboard he didn't have before. I think it was a wave, but I thought I'd put him on a surfboard.
Oh, it's fantastic, that
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, so I
looks
just
really good.
touched up the bits there and the bit the side. That's all.
What
It
about
probably needs another 3 coats, to be honest.
Did you get a bit on the side where the diver's going down as well?
Yeah,
Oh, lovely.
yeah. So it's all.
So you got 10 out of 10 from Mr. Lloyd, Primo.
Yeah, I said, Mr. Lloyd.
Yeah, art teacher in Dunvant.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
lovely. Well done.
So I touched her up a bit as well, or him.
Yeah. Did
I'm
she
not-
move? Did she
Definitely
wiggle?
got, though she's got flippers on, but she's got a lovely bottom.
Did you get in on? Did you get in the?
In the cracks, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
The
Yeah.
only thing is I'm
What
stuck
was
in
it?
the-
Was it just a natural color, or was it got a bit of a dark shade to it? What the stuff you were putting on?
No, it was black.
What? No, I mean the general for the not so much the.
No, it's just oil.
It's just oil.
It's pretty much colourless.
Oh, it's great. Well, if you're gonna go, if you want to hand it, you go underground. Give it
I've
some.
got like a litre of it, or 2 litres, so
All right.
it should be okay if anybody wants. I
Did
guess.
it work in okay with the brush? And is the brush
No,
wrecked?
it's quite watery sort of thing, so it spreads really easily.
All right.
But it was so dry, it sort of sucked it up.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I tuned into your show. Was it last night?
Oh, last night. What? Saturday night? Friday night?
Yeah, but no, Soul Night.
Friday night. Yeah, I don't do nights normally. So you
All
had
right,
me.
yeah. It was a bit souly for me, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, didn't you get the gist of it? It is a soul show.
Oh yeah, I did, yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I was only doing that.
I don't mind Northern Soul, but the sort of Aretha Franklin type soul.
Yeah.
Really.
But let me just speak briefly now. The guy who does the show, he's a total soul fanatic, but soul in all its terms, you know. So
Yeah.
all the stuff I played was all fitting the sections that he
I
normally
understood
plays.
that.
Now, a lot of the stuff he plays, most of the stuff he plays, I've never heard of, but it works and it sounds great. So my brief was, he either said, "Do what you want, but this is the kind of thing I do," and I said, "Yeah." So I just recreated the sort of thing that he would do, and that's why you might have noticed I was more into sort of DJ mode. I was doing the odd "hey ho ha ha" because that's what he does, you know.
All right, yeah.
You know, so and the tracks, some of them, a lot of them I knew, and I searched, but they're not pop soul tracks. I mean, the
No.
poppiest I got was more likely the Marvin Gaye, "What's Going On," and there was a Chic number in there that was "My Forbidden Lover," whatever. But it took me ages to build the program up, to access some soul material and the history of the artists, where they were from, what they did. It took me ages, hours of prep, and then quite a bit to get it down. But when the guy who was listening, he was on holiday in France, he was listening from Calais, and after the first 20 minutes, I didn't see it, he sent me a WhatsApp text message, and he just said, "Oh, brilliant start." And at the end of it all, he said, "Oh, you totally smashed it." He said, "It's fantastic," you know. So I thought, "Oh, I'm glad he liked it." And he even said down to the humor, because he always sort of belittles himself, and he says things like, "Right, all of my listeners out there, both of you, you know." As if he's
Yeah.
got two listeners. So
I nearly wrote to you after your first joke, and I can't remember who it was now, saying something like, "You can't beat the old uns."
did I say something like that? I hope not.
Yeah, I said I was going to write to you and say, but I didn't.
Oh, I see. Ah.
You told a joke right at the start.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but that bit that right at the start, that's something also he does. He actually does a very sort of dry wit little something. He always starts with something like that, and I thought, oh yeah. So all I did, I remembered. I think it was where's it gone? I even got it here in front of me somewhere. It was one of my birthday cards, and
It was a bit Christmas crackery. Hello, he's gone.
He's buggered off because he's buggered off to his birthday. He's gone, and there he was gone.
He's gone to his birthday party, isn't he? He's probably unplugged himself, has he? Or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You reached up.
He probably pulled the fucking laptop off the table or something. Oops.
Yeah. Well, we're getting the inside history of SA Radio.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what. Although I call it Sarah Radio, because have you seen it? It says capital S, capital A, capital R, and then ADIO, and it looks like Sarah. And I keep thinking it's Sarah, but it says it's SA Radio.
Okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to be SA1 or something. I can't remember now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And because they couldn't call it Swansea, whatever it was before, Swansea Sound or something.
Yeah. People are weird with these copyright names and stuff, aren't they? Sometimes.
No. I used to like the one they did before because it was varied, and they used to have interviews with like local politicians and things all the time. Just like on a Saturday morning, they do have a question and answer with a local sort of.
Swansea Sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they do an interview with a footballer and things like that sort of thing. But this one is just all sort of music, as far as I can make out.
My dad was in with all the DJs at Swansea Sound because he used to he was controller of taxis, you know.
Yeah.
So if they wanted a taxi, you know, they get hold of Frank, and he'd always get him one, you know. So he always got priority over requests or messages or something, happy birthday or someone, you know. He's always on there. Here we go, Sam's coming back in.
What was that glam tax then? Was he glam tax or what?
No, he was working for, I can't remember, there's one down at Docks, White Cabs or something like that, or City Cabs perhaps. And then he was working for, Oyster Cabs.
It definitely was a city. We weren't a city then.
Yeah. But I worked in I drove a cab as well. It's great. You didn't have to have a license in those days. I had this old Morris Oxford. It's great. Nice. She's charging it.
Oh, Morris Oxfords and Austin Cambridges, they were the go-to for taxis, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
And do you remember glam tax?
Yeah.
Because the drivers used to wear purple uniforms.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I might live there. If it's not one thing, it's the other. My phone battery went down, and just when I was getting to the punchline in on that car, I thought, what's happened now? Of course, the power had gone from my lappy. So I had to dig out my cables, get myself back in, and get reconnected. So,
Well done, Sam. You're getting so tech savvy now. It's just unreal. It's like a pro, you know. I just do this and here I am again now.
I tell you what.
If I'd have been you last year, you would have been, oh shit.
Yeah, but you know what? On that radio program that you listen to, Mike, I was working in quite a different manner there because James, the guy who does it, when he used to do it on the radio years ago, and he used to play all his stuff on vinyl, and he'd have his little cartridges, which you put into the machine with all the little jingles and the drop-ins and sound effects and all sorts. And he'd be going do 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 on. And when he came to do it on this station now, no record decks. It's all computerized. There are CD players, but he tries to emulate what he was doing before. So I was aware of the style of show he did. So when I went down there, I had to kind of go back a couple of steps to how I used to do things live DJ style, which was playing one track out on one deck. The next one is lined up on the second deck. And on my third deck will be a little sound effect or voiceover track that I could use. So I'd be whipping between the three. So when I was down the radio on Friday, I had the computer system, which I was using. I had my laptop, which I set up the whole show from. The CD players, which I was doing little stabs of, like James Brown, about 3 or 4 of the songs he starts off with. He starts off with a scream or a all aboard the night train. So I was using my back and forth stuff. So when I started, I said to James, you wouldn't believe my octopus hands that were going to create that start. So the bit you heard was me having done my introduction. Okay, let's get back in the groove, don't move. I'm sure James will approve, you know. And so that story I told, I remembered from a birthday card I bought somebody, and it just came to me about, you know, guy wakes up in the morning, before he gets out of bed, reads the paper, checks the obituaries. If he's not in it, he gets up. Yeah. So that was the one you heard, was it, Mike?
Yeah. It's just that my mother-in-law and mother used to say that they always checked the obituaries to make sure they weren't dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. And then when I went through the whole program, most of it went according to plan. I think about 3 times I just had a 2-second pause where I'd misbuttoned one effect or one track or whatever.
I'd be honest, I only listened for half an hour because I was all sold out by then. Tell me something. I got to ask you this. Do you have a different voice on the radio to when you just talking to people?
Yeah, but what happens is...
At first, I didn't recognize you.
No, you wouldn't, because let me just explain briefly again. My normal voice is this that I'm speaking to you in now. But when I started DJing in the West Cross, sound equipment is pretty naff. So you would try really hard to enunciate what you were saying so that people could hear what you were saying. And having done that then for a while, without me even thinking about it, as soon as I got a pair of headphones on and the microphone open in front of me, or even doing live, no headphones, you're just working off what the sound comes back at you like in the speakers. So I ended up, without even thinking about it or having to work on it, with a subconscious microphone voice. So when I'd be working, and this happened quite early, I'd be working in the penthouse. So I'd only been DJing then for about 3 or 4 years. And a guy came up to me at the end of the night to speak to me. And we were chatting back and forth. And then he said, you're from here then, are you? I said, yeah, of course I am. He said, all right. He couldn't detect an accent when I was talking on the mic. Wow. And that's what's happened. So, but on Friday, so I've got my normal mic voice, which just flips on the automatic switch when I go on my normal programs on Monday and Thursday and Saturday lunchtime. But because I was doing that kind of show, I actually internally upped myself a couple of notches, and I went into another mode, which just again flipped off.
It went up an octave, I think.
Yeah, there's two ways when I'm talking. I'm either on the up attack or I'm down here like this. Right. So it all depends on. So if I want to go quietly down, I'll move in closer to the mic so I can. Okay, that's what we're doing right now, as opposed to hey, let's do it. You know,
I'm laughing because Rob Pendritt has got the one voice. He's got a radio voice when he's on the radio when you're just talking to him. Yeah, it's always the same sort of.
Yeah, it's that smooth.
Yeah.
You know? Very controlled. Don't rush it. Think of every word 3 words before you say it. You know.
But he comes out a bit like whispering Bob. Yeah.
Whispering Bob. Yes.
Whispering Bob Harris.
Yeah.
Well, what we going to
that? Yeah. Mind you, he had a good.
He's like,
But when you think about it now, every sort of DJ, like, who's the one who was, hello, pop pickers? Who was that?
Alan Freeman.
Freeman,
You have him and
Bob would just be sort of talking to you quietly like this. On a whistle test tonight, we have with us Hugh Sackman and Daredevils, and they're just one of the best bands coming on and
You need to.
There's a guy you ought to listen to just for the hell of it on SA Radio Live. He's on a Sunday afternoon between 12 and 3 o'clock. He used to work on Swansea Sound as well years ago, and his name is Carl Burtonshaw. So the joke is Carl Burtonshaw, 3 of the best DJs you're going to hear today. You know, Carl Burtonshaw, but he's got a voice veering between Kenny Everett and Mr. Bean. He, if a word's got 2 syllables in it, he will get about 6 different intonations to those 2 syllables. And yeah. And he speaks like it when he's not on the mic as well. So yeah, but he's he's been at it for a while and he enjoys it and he does a good job. So he's seen it. He's good at what he does.
I'm with you on what you're saying about your radio voice and mic voice, actually. Because when I'm on stage, I don't have the same voice as when I'm speaking into the microphone and saying it's not the same voice. Because if I just talk normally, like, nobody would understand what I was saying, especially in French. So I have to when I'm speaking in French, it's got to come out very correctly and talk a little bit slower so people will, and round it off a little bit so people can understand what was said.
John, you're going to use a Beach Boys accent when you're singing, I think.
That's a West Coast influence, man. I can't help it, because if you sing it with a Welsh accent, there's another tequila. Look, hang on. There's another tequila sunrise. Softly across the sky. Oh, another day goes by.
Hence the term that came up years ago.
Sunrise.
Hence the term that came up years ago, the mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was going to ask this a second ago. These days you have, in Ibiza and things, you have the top DJs and everything like that who command like 20, 30,000 pounds for a set, don't they? I mean, a huge amount of money they get.
But usually those don't speak.
No, well, where they mix, don't they? But who was the best DJ around
of that batch? Well, I mean, from our sort of youth. Yeah, right. Okay, but in what category? Do you mean ones that we knew?
Pop.
Pardon?
In pop.
Yeah, but hold on. Another little. Let me break it down. Do you mean ones that you knew locally who were doing it, ones that were on the TV who were doing it, ones that were on the radio were doing it? Which do you mean?
Oh, they'd have to be sort of quite well known, I think.
Well, so radio.
It'd be like a Radio 1 or TV or something.
Well, that splits it down into your taste, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, but it's no good saying.
So they wouldn't have been the best or whatever.
Well, there's somebody in Birmingham was the best DJ ever because I never heard of him.
What?
It's no good saying there was a guy in Birmingham.
No, so if we, we kind of try and make it so we can answer your question. You're saying who were the best DJ, so they would have been the ones that you'd heard of.
No. I was asking.
Do you mean the ones on the radio?
No, I wasn't saying who was the best. I was saying, like in Ibiza now, they have these top DJs.
Yeah.
Who're supposed to be like the best and that. Did we have like the equivalent then?
No, let me just explain. You put your foot in here because you've dived into one of my big buckets. So, I mean, the reason that the ones that are getting big money for doing a great job, mixing it and whatever, it's because of the new brand of awareness, social media, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff. So people know about these people. They don't know them at all. They see them on these platforms. There's me saying platforms, but then they're also aware of the big DJs that do the clubs in Ibiza, the clubs that the ones that used to do the raves. There's a little cult following of those DJs, and so there would be a 5 or 10 year span of who would have been popular then, and likewise, it's all in little pockets. So who's popular within a 10-year period on the radio? So it all depends on which period. If you're talking about our period, we wouldn't know about the dance DJs because dance DJs in our time didn't exist. The guys getting big money. So that narrows it down to the radio ones. So the radio ones that we would have heard of would have been the ones we heard on the radio on Radio 1. We didn't really listen to Radio 2 then. But so the names that would have been up there would have been Johnny Walker, Tony Blackburn, Bob Harris.
What's the American guy? The American guy.
Roscoe?
No.
Kid Jensen.
No.
Well, there were people like Kid Jensen.
Lamborghini, not Paul Gambaccini.
Paul Gambaccini, yeah. So he's more of a documentary DJ.
Yeah.
You know.
But the question I was leading on to was: is it the music that makes a DJ, or the DJ that makes the music? Because we all listened to Radio Caroline, didn't we, at the point? Yeah. Because it was the only. No,
it's a combination of the two. And what ends up is the DJ creates a certain vibe by playing certain things, and also how he links them, what his commentary is, and what he plays. And my fine example is, if you are swayed towards a particular presenter, DJ, and you like overall what they do, I would find if I listened to a program and it was somebody who I didn't have much admiration or respect for, and they would play a particular song, and I would think to myself, oh, that's pretty naff, that is. But if one of the DJs I respected played the same song, I wouldn't feel so bad about it. Because it's the same track, but you have a bit more respect for the reason the person is playing it. For instance, Johnny Walker, early days, when he used to do his sounds of the 70s, all the stuff was pretty cool. In the last couple of years, he more or less not swallowed his pride or whatever. He never sold his soul. He was always good, right like that, right up until the end, Johnny Walker. But then I noticed in the last couple of years, he would play something now and then, which I wouldn't have expected him to play 5 years ago. He'd play maybe Johnny Johnson and the Bandwagon, or the Foundations, Build Me Up Buttercup, because it was a popular tune from the 70s. But I would never have expected him to play it a while ago. But then things change, and you think, okay, there's some savvy on that. Somebody in particular asked for it, and he thought, yeah. Like I've got my not so much standards. There are certain songs I never play. Unless even if I'm pushed, I never play Queen, Status Quo, quite a number of other things like that. They just grate on me. It's lowest common denominator. There's loads of other stuff I can play instead of those. Yeah, exactly. I'm not decrying the both of them. They're both great on what they do, but they're not my bag. Yeah. So I can still manage.
If you want to get people going at the end of the evening, for example, you just put on, I don't know, Status Quo or Queen.
No, because there's so many other things you can. I've never actually resort to that.
Mm.
And that's the same with the band as well.
But I was just saying, it's like the easy way out for a DJ, isn't it? Because you just put something on that he knows, he's put it on, within 2 bars, everybody's up screaming,
Yeah.
So there it is. This is Christmas, everybody's up and away,
Oh, I cringe every time Christmas. Yeah. Even when I was on the radio before, I would dread the word coming down from the program. Yeah. This is right. I say, hold on. It's 3 weeks before Christmas. Why are we playing Christmas songs now? Who are we quite trying to convince that it's already Christmas? And I would resist until the last moment when I had to, and even then, if I was supposed to be playing 2 Christmas songs every hour or 3 Christmas songs every hour, I would pick the Pogues, Chris Rea, something else, Eagles Christmas songs, rather than Mud, Queen, and something else.
Right. No, there's a good. I think we only got a minute left, and we got.
Great chat, boys. Great.
So,
Yeah.
I think Winifred's Girls Choir, you've never played them, presumably.
No, but I would play Lady Smith Black Mombasa.
Yeah.
Winifred.
Sorry, just quickly before we go, mine was tie a yellow ribbon round an old oak tree.
Oh, now that is total cringe.
It's the lollipop country
and laughter
crap.
that sway. Cherish the legends of Langland Bay. So let's gather round this bench we've made in memory of those whose love won't fade. With every chord of the ocean's song, you celebrate the place where we all belong.